And we're live! Yay!
Hey!
All right, aloha everyone. Welcome back to my channel, Mermaid Nina here. And I'm here with a whole cast of crew down here below and next to me in different angles here for our continuation of our Land versus World show. And we're very excited to keep comparing rides. And we will eventually learn this. Right, Nick? Right
That
now,
we will.
Brady Bunch.
We had so much fun last week that we've got everybody back, and we added one too.
Yes.
So we had a ton of fun. So we'll do a real quick recap of who everybody is real quick. As always, what's up, everybody? I'm Nick from Who Dat Travel. And since the other guys have already introduced themselves, we're going to go, my up top, Disney Time Podcast. Let's have you introduce yourself real quick.
Hey, everyone. My name's Micah. I'm with the Disney Time Podcast. I'm 1/3 of the podcast. There's other two hosts. You might have seen them in some of my other vlogs. But yeah, my channel, we do everything Disney. So
awesome.
Fantastic. We'll kind of go clockwise around. Sherry.
Hi, I'm Sherry Elizabeth. My channel is Sherry Elizabeth. I do a lot of Disney vlogs, Disney planning, hauls. Right now I have a series about a trip to Jamaica and cruises and all kinds of fun stuff.
And I'm going to do a shameless plug for you because you didn't there. Everybody, last week, if you didn't catch it, Mermaid Nina hit her 1,000 subscribers. Giant thing for YouTubers. Sherry is 2 people away. Please,
sub.
Please go and sub to her channel. Watch one of her videos real quick. Leave a comment on it and sub to it. Well, actually, sub to all of us, please. All of us have some great content. We'll tell you about what we've got coming up at the end. But please, go on out there and hit that subscribe button. Smash it if that's something you're into. So with that, Matt.
Hey there, guys. I'm Matt from the Magical Adventurers. Me and my friends are former Disney World cast members, and on our channel we have everything Disney, vlogs, unboxings. We do a live stream every Saturday night at 7:30 where we talk all things Disney, so be sure to join us for that.
All right, thank you, Aiden, I believe. And let's move over to Kelly.
Hi everyone, my name's Kelly. My channel name is Kelly's Kingdom. I'm one of the few Australian Disney channels out there. I post vlogs of all my trips to Disneyland and Disney World. I also do unboxings, hauls, and some Disney style. So if any of that interests you, come over and say hi.
Yay!
All right, Nina, we'll have you go.
You want me to introduce myself?
Hey, we might as well. I mean, we got enough of the Brady Bunch here that we probably should tell who we are too.
All right. Well, I am Mermaid Nina, hence Mermaid Nina Travels, and I am a travel channel that focuses mostly on Disney. I just got back, I don't know, like 2 days ago. So lots of current Disney vlogs will be coming up very soon. But real quick, I want to remind everyone, since I did hit that magical number, the community tab has finally opened up on my page. So if you want to talk to either Nick or I about the show and your thoughts, maybe you want to be a guest, let me know on that community tab. We have a bunch of really cool shows coming up where we will need your involvement. So that's a perfect spot to give us your opinion on that. So Nick, do you want to introduce yourself?
All right. Again, what's up, everybody? I'm Nick from Who Dat Travel. Now, for me, I am a travel channel as well. So I do anything and everything travel related. Right now, I'm really focusing on Disney because, well, I have a 1-year-old little man and he comes with us, well, wherever we go. So Disney is one of those fantastic places for a 1-year-old to go. We'll be branching out into other things, how to travel on airplanes with a little man, those type of things, when things have kind of calmed down. And so right now, really, we're focused on Disney. So without further ado, let's get into a little bit of icebreaker real quick. Actually, I'm going to start. We're actually going to do 2 of them. I'll do one, and Mermaid Nina will do one. But mine might be a little bit of head scratcher for everybody. Ha ha ha.
I hate those.
I know. If you could only go to one Disney park, and now when I say Disney park, I mean Epcot, Disney Sea, Disneyland, California Adventure. Those are as one park, not Disney World. One park for the rest of your life and not go to any other one. Which would it be? Mermaid Nina. Well, we'll start with Mermaid Nina because she's already answering Disneyland. Well, why? You got to ask the why, though.
Because it's the best. It's the original. It's Walt's creation.
Is it really, though?
It really is, though.
All right. Well, we've got and let's be honest. Everybody that have been watching absolutely knew what Nina was going to answer. But let's go up top here to
me. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Disneyland as well, just like Nina.
Got another Disneyland. All right.
Party up top over here.
That's right.
I'll get why. We'll go with the why.
It's the original, and it's my favorite, so I'm gonna go with that too.
Alrighty, Sherry, how about you? Are we gonna continue that trend, or are we gonna break it?
We're going to break that trend. So I am from Southern California. Disneyland is like my home park. It's my heart. However, if I don't get to go to any other park, I'm going to choose the Magic Kingdom because the Magic Kingdom is Disneyland on steroids, and the Magic Kingdom has room to grow. Disneyland, this is Disneyland, and this is what it's going to be. You're never going to get Tron. You're never going to get these rides unless they rip out a bunch of other stuff.
That's true.
So my answer is Magic Kingdom because if I can't go to another park, I need the new shiny object.
All right, fair enough. Matt, how about you?
It's a tough one because my stomach says Epcot, but my heart says Magic Kingdom. So I'm gonna go with Magic Kingdom. Basically, what Sherry said, it's like Disneyland on steroids. It's and it's for me. I grew up with Magic Kingdom. I went to Disney World more than Disneyland, so I grew up with Magic Kingdom. It's my favorite, so gotta go with Magic Kingdom.
Matt, how dare you take my answer? Literally. that hurts, man. That really hurts. Yes, my stomach absolutely says Epcot. Hey, I've got one of my Epcot shirts on. I love walking around the world. We do that every time we're there. We actually kind of have a competition of how many times we can go around the world. I love doing that. But yeah, as Sherry, you said so eloquently put, Matt, you said it as well. Disney World, it was my first park that I was ever at. I'm sorry, Magic Kingdom was my first park. I really didn't go to Disneyland until I was much, much older and could go on my own. Now, I love the nostalgia of Disneyland.
It is.
I absolutely do. But again, you've got the room to grow. I was supposed to go to Shanghai, but everything was shut down. So I can't, I would love to see that since it's the newest park. So, all right, Kelly's Kingdom.
For me, it's very close between Magic Kingdom and Animal Kingdom. They're the first two parks I ever visited. I love them both. They're also the two parks that I worked in. I was a cast member for a year. But if I had to choose, it's probably Magic Kingdom. I just need that magic in my life. You need Happily Ever After. You need Festival of Fantasy. It's just the magic. So Magic Kingdom.
All right. So Mermaid Nina, we're back to you and your icebreaker.
Well, before I mention it, I just thought of another reason why Disneyland is number one. And that's because we also have Galaxy's Edge.
That's right.
So we've got Star Wars plus the original and our itty bitty little castle. Just saying.
Are we doing the genie again?
Yeah, that's what
castle. It's the cutest little itty bitty castle. Just to answer a few questions that popped up, Adventures of Charlie. Yes, Mickey and Minnie's Railway is slated to open at Toontown at Disneyland. And yes, the Alice in Wonderland ride in Fantasyland at Disneyland is pretty cool because you get to ride in a little caterpillar.
Yeah.
Just mentioning that. What? Hold on. Do we need to fight? Is Galaxy's Edge not a fantasy? I don't know. Come on. Who's going to fight with me, right? It's okay. Galaxy's Edge at Disneyland, it works. It's like it's... you guys suck. Oh,
don't
right,
apologize. Keep going. All right, let's get into your icebreaker, Nina. We've got a lot of rides to get through yet.
But I got all this stuff. Okay, guys. So in tune with what the show's about, I want to know: Downtown Disney or Disney Springs?
Ooh.
Same concept, but they're very much different.
Yeah, they are.
I'll start.
Okay,
Go
go ahead,
for it.
Sherry.
So I am a major shopper. I'm a shopaholic, and Disney Springs blows downtown Disney out of the water. And so when it comes to just like shopping experience, I need all those stores because I don't really know of another place. Well, I shouldn't say that. There are malls that have kind of all those real specialty stores, but very few. And so I like Disney Springs. And I like the entertainment there. I like that it's bigger. I like the little lake thing with the bridge and all. I like all that. And the dinosaur or the dragon in the water. And
The Lego.
Lego. The Loch Ness Lego.
The Loch Ness, yes.
All right, well, let's continue around here. Well, let's go, Matt.
I'm definitely going with Disney Springs. I love Disney Springs. It has like a nice relaxing vibe for me. Like I love the theming of it. And it's so much variety in the shopping and even the dining as well. So I'm going with Disney Springs.
All right, well, I guess I'm up. Now, I do like Downtown Disney. I enjoy the vibe because it is a much different vibe. It is more of a party atmosphere to me. But with that being said, I am, as I've already said, I'm a dad. So the party days are kind of limited. So the family atmosphere. Hey, it doesn't need a driver quite yet. Mermaid, you know. I got a couple years, like 2 at least. So he can drive us around in the cozy coupe, you know. So, but for me, I'm gonna have to say the Downtown Disney as well. Just same type of things. I love the world of Disney. I love seeing all of the stuff, and I just don't feel that Downtown Disney has that same scale again because they really couldn't. So, going to you, Kelly.
Yeah, the same as everyone else. I honestly never really spend any time at Downtown Disney on my trips. I just don't. But I'm always at Disney Springs, even just to walk around, just to take in the vibes, just not even doing anything. But of course, all the shopping, love the shopping, and all the dining options. You just can't not choose Disney Springs.
Mermaid Nina?
It's a wash for me. I love Downtown Disney because it's small, and I love that it's so connected to the resorts and both parks. I don't have to take a bus to get there and waste an hour and blah, blah, blah. I feel like some of the shops and things there are kind of could get the way out and make it a little bit more Disney springy. I love the eats at Downtown Disney more than the eats at Springs. But you can't beat what Sherry said. The Springs just has more shops, better shops. I just wish it wasn't so large and such a pain in the butt to take a bus to get there. I'd love for it to just be quick, like Downtown Disney. I can just walk out of my resort and boom, I'm there, kind of thing. So
Do definitely have a point. And Disney Time Podcast.
So to add what Nina was talking about, it's like at Downtown Disney, you can just go from the park right to Downtown Disney, and then they were supposed to be expanding it, they had the designs for building up a hotel and adding some more shops and everything, and then they had to scrap it. So, but you know, with that being said, I think I would go with Disney Springs because it's larger and there's a lot more things to do. You can spend the whole day at Disney Springs, whereas Downtown Disney is just like something you can do in addition to the parks.
Right.
All right. Well, that is it for the icebreakers. So, I don't know. Do we want to jump into this and just go straight into gloves, or do we want to ease into this and have just kind of a? You want to go right to gloves? All right. Well, in this corner we have Disneyland, and in the other corner we have the Titan Disney World. So we're going to jump into Main Street and Liberty Square. If you didn't check out last week's, go check that on out, because we're just going to continue down the line here. And if we're going to go into gloves, we're going to start with the Haunted Mansion. So let's do this slightly different.
Let's break it up.
Let's break this up. And I'm actually going to ask everybody's opinion right off the bat and see if we can change anybody's by the end of it.
It's a tie for me.
I think it's a tie as well. But if gun to the head, I'm gonna have to choose Disneyland. But all right, so let's go around the circle real quick into one reason. Try to keep them short. Mermaid, one reason that Disneyland wins for you.
I like the queue better because you can get closer to the mansion. You got more of the graveyard scenario. I like that you can walk outside of the house and kind of feel it and breathe it and touch it, because it's like you're entering the mansion.
Okay. Disney time.
Hatbox Ghost.
All right,
I forgot that.
Good answer. Sherry?
I have to say the queue, but even more so really before the queue, the half wall with the you know, the rods and you're entering into the estate. And I just feel like at Disney World, you like, you know, it feels, you don't feel that like grandness of when you walk up, you see like, it looks more like a mansion and an estate at Disneyland. And I feel like the story starts before you even get into the queue there.
Okay. And Matt?
I've only experienced the holiday version at Disneyland, which is amazing. It's amazing. So that's one of the reasons why it's a tie. And the other one, I actually do like that the Disney World mansion's set further back. And I kind of like that about it. I don't know. Seems kind of spookier for me.
No, Matt, we should have moved you spots because you're just taking what I'm trying to say before I get to it. It's not being fair here, man. Come on. No, I absolutely agree with you. The fact that they do the holiday overlay is a big thing to me. I have not been able to go yet and see it, and I really want to. All right. So that's a big thing. I'm glad in one respect that Disney World doesn't do the overlay. But to me, Disney World, I love Disney World. I love the fact that it's set back and that you've got a lot of different setup. They've got the interactive queue. But yeah, I do like Disneyland's queue and how it kind of just does bring you into it already. Unfortunately, the last time I was there right before shutdown, it was closed for refurbishment, so I wasn't able to ride it again. The Hatbox Ghost I love, but again, I'm glad they don't have it at Disney World because it is one of those things that sets it apart. Now, for being the same ride, for those of you who don't know, they knew when they were doing Disneyland's that they were going to open Disney World, so they bought duplicates of everything. However, the ride time is actually a minute and a half longer in Disney World because they had the amount of space. So you actually have differences in the ride. For instance, the stretching room everybody knows the differences between the stretching rooms. Yes. Disney
The
World.
elevator.
Disney World actually, the ceiling raises. Disneyland, it actually lowers you. However, it actually does go up just a little bit for the ceiling, about a couple feet. The reason being this is for Disneyland, you had to get under those railroad tracks again. So they did that on purpose by design, because at Disneyland, of course, you got constraints on the amount of space you have. So really, overall, yeah, it's a big tie. I like Disneyland and the fact that they do the overlays and that kind of stuff. Kelly, how are you feeling about all of it?
Well, I think everything's pretty much been said, but the reason I love Disneyland the best is I just love the colonial style house. I think it fits in perfectly in New Orleans Square. It's just so grand and beautiful, and I just love it. And obviously the overlay, I don't even like to call it an overlay. To me, it's a completely different ride. It's a completely different experience, and I love that you have those two options depending on the time of year. So Disneyland, that's why.
So with what you were talking about of the styling, it actually was inspired after the Shipley Lydecker House, which is in Baltimore, Maryland, for Disneyland. And then in Disney World, it was actually after the Dutch Gothic Revival style, which is a very common of the late 1800s. And it was based off the Rathbone Estate in Albany, New York. So they are modeled after real homes, and really, as always, the Imagineers really did do a lot of research to make them fit in with their respective land or the areas that they were in. So yeah, it's amazing to me just the differences in how those mansions make you feel as well. Mermaid.
What?
Did we sway you at all for movement off of Disneyland? Actually, anyone? Did we sway your decisions, or everybody's sitting with their originals?
I mean, I like World. No, not dissing the World at all. Disneyland's my home park, so obviously that's the one I grew up with. That's the.
You're a little biased. We got it.
Yeah, I know. You've heard it before.
Every week.
Every week. I mention it every week.
It's pick on Nina time because she just got back from Disney World. We're all jealous.
I mean, I do love Worlds. The queue just drives me crazy because even right now during COVID, we spent a good 20 minutes outside of the gate, not even near the mansion itself. And to me, it's just kind of ruins it. I love that you can see the full mansion up on the kind of the hill when you go into World, but I wish everything was more integrated into that space.
You can thank this. If you can read this, thank the Phoenicians.
Yep. They were working. It was the other parts that weren't working at Spaceship Earth, but they were working.
All right. So really not a lot of gloves there. So, well, thought that might have been a little more of a fight, but so we're going to go to one you don't really often think about as a ride, possibly, but the railroad. Both parks have a railroad. Now, Disney World is down right now because of the Tron. Now, just a little bit of couple facts about it real quick. Disneyland came in 55. Disney World was in 71. Disneyland's railroad is 1.2 miles. Disney World's is 1.5. Disneyland, you've got 4 stops. Disney World, you've got 3. And yeah. So I saw a lot of land there. Any Disney Worlds?
Maybe.
On that one.
Maybe.
Oh, whoa.
This is shocking.
It is. Stop the presses.
That's a good point, Ada. it works better as transportation in that case.
Yeah, and actually, it really is. It is part of a transportation. It does get you around. Disneyland. Yeah, they actually. Rissa just said that they did part of a new track, and during that addition, they actually added dioramas to it, which are really fantastic if you haven't been on them, because of Galaxy's Edge coming in. They had to reroute some things, so you actually have some more unobstructed views of the park as well now, and also the dioramas and the new bridge that they put in because of it. So
plus, no, at Disneyland you sit like in a row facing, right? And at Disney World you sit
right. Instead of this, you're stacked.
yeah.
And that's so you can see the diorama.
I like that part.
Yep.
I guess it depends on if you're taking it for a full circle ride and calling it a ride, or if you're using it to just get you from point A to point B. I think that's where it has me messed up. I think lands is kind of annoying to jump on when you're just trying to get to another land. Maybe it's because it's always further away from the land you're trying to get to. It always seems like a long walk or takes longer. I don't know. Oh, and the Lily Bell, of course.
Yeah.
Has anyone been on the Lily Bell?
Have not. For those of you who don't know what the Lily Bell was actually a car that was designed for Mrs. Disney. So that is a near and dear to the folks that really love Walt. That is a near and dear one. They do give private tours of the Lily Bell, and is highly suggested that you do it if you're into the history portion. So with that being said, all right, everybody hold up their signs. Uh-oh, Nina's not voting.
How can Nina not agree with us on this one? Like,
I know, out of all of them.
I just feel like it always takes me forever. If I'm trying to use it for transportation, it always takes me forever to get from point A to point B. If I'm just riding it for funsies.
No, okay, let's take the transportation part out of it.
If it's just for funsies, then obviously.
All right, then there we go.
I'm a mom here. I got to be able to get those kids from point A to point B and make it to our Plaza Inn reservation on time and quickly get to Toontown. You know, I got to think these things. Is it quicker to take the train or to just hurt your feet and walk? It all comes into play.
Oh, no, you got to put the steps in. Come on. It's a challenge every day to beat my steps from the day before.
I don't do steps.
And my phone tracks it, so.
Oh.
All right. Let's move on to another one. Again, you're not really thinking about this one usually as a ride, but Rivers of America. It's this there. They have it in both parks. You've got Disneyland and Disney World.
We got a ship at land, like a pirate.
So Disneyland.
I mean, it has Phantasmic on it, you know.
Yep. Okay. No, I'm looking at mainly just the riverboat ride portion of it.
What about Columbia?
You have the Mark Twain riverboat with Disneyland, and then you have the
Liberty.
What is it named now?
You don't know your boat's name?
I don't.
Isn't it the Liberty Bell?
It is a Liberty Bell, and it used to be called the Richard F. Irvine, actually. The name was changed in 96. So, Magic Kingdom actually had two boats for 7 years until the first boat, the Admiral Joe Fowler, was being refurbished and fell off the crane.
Oh, no.
And cracked. And sunk.
I don't want to ride that then.
No. So, as a scuba diver, I'm interested in it as a wreck, but as a Disney park goer, that kind of ruined.
Like in the Rivers of America, like that thing is maybe like 10.
It's sunk down into it, but it was not completely submerged. Yeah, it's only you're only looking at about I think 4 or 5 feet. It's not real deep.
Yeah.
So yeah, they did have one, but oops. So the Disney World is longer. It's 16 minutes, whereas Disneyland's is 14 minutes.
Wow.
Unless you're canoeing.
Well, yeah, you have the canoeing there too, which was.
Whoa.
I'm trying to remember. It's just too much work in Disney. I work enough walking around. I don't need to row a boat too.
Oh, I love the canoes.
I like the idea of them, but yeah, no.
Row.
We're doing crew now? What?
I don't know what we're doing, but I do them every trip. I love the canoes.
All right. So, does anybody have any deciding factor of this is why I love Disney? Because everybody I think chose Disneyland, correct?
Well, I picked it because we also have the Columbia.
Okay, for those of you who are not familiar, the Columbia is the one that kind of looks like the pirate ship.
The pirate ship.
So yeah, shiver me timbers. So you do have that, and for those reasons, plus to me, the Mark Twain, I like the look of it better. With the smokestacks, the Liberty Square, the Liberty Bell just doesn't have that same feel to me as the steam paddle ship. I mean, I like it, but yeah, I like the Mark Twain a lot better. The interesting part is the boat that sunk looked almost exactly like the Mark Twain. So, oops. So, with that being said, guys, are we all sticking with Disneyland? I think this is a unanimous Disneyland. All right. So, yep, unanimous Disneyland. All right. So that actually are the 3 rides or 4 rides. 3 rides. Sorry. That is the same at Main Street and Liberty Square with the 2. So now we are moving on to Fantasyland. All right. Not a huge knuckle buster here. Come on, I didn't even ask which one it was.
Doesn't matter.
No, I think
apparently I say it every show. So
this one might. The carousel.
Which carousel?
The carousel.
Just the carousel?
King Arthur's carousel.
So you've got King Arthur's Carousel, which opened in 1955, or you have Prince Charming's Regal Carousel, which was opening day in 71. All right. So, Nina, why? We'll start with you. Why? Why do you like Land better?
Doesn't Land have not only Mary Poppins' horse, or did have Mary Poppins' horse, or created like Mary Poppins' horse, but didn't they create a special horse on that carousel for Lillian Disney, Walt's wife?
That is actually not true. That is a rumor that it was Lily's. They do have.
It's all over Disney Imagineering, the show.
Well, the part about Mary Poppins' horse, Julie Andrews, actually, there is a JA on that horse. That is her horse. Now, the horse that they used was the one that was supposedly Lily's. The rumor was that was Lily's horse because it was more ornate. And so the rumor was that was her favorite horse.
It's her favorite horse, but it's also Poppins' horse.
Now it's Poppins' horse, from what I remember of this story. So they actually changed and painted it for the Mary Poppins. I think it was an anniversary. They dedicated that to Julie Andrews. So I'm trying to remember my Imagineering story. I only watched it 4 times, so I may have to watch it again.
I'm Googling it.
All right. The almighty Google. So now Disney time.
So the reason why I chose Disneyland is because the carousel at Griffith Park is what inspired Walt to make Disneyland in the first place. So that's, he made his own carousel for his kids to enjoy, and that's the one.
Yep. And actually, this one was built in 22. The Disneyland one was built in 22 by the Denzel Carousel Company and was purchased in 1954 from the Sunnyside Amusement Park in Toronto. So it's definitely has its aged story. For Magic Kingdom, it was built. Actually, it is an older carousel. It's built in 1917 by the Philadelphia Toboggan Company. It was originally located at Belle Island Park in Detroit, Michigan. For those of you who are wondering, the three of us that are lifting our arms,
No.
Midwest-based. We're Midwest-based. We'll just say that. All right. And then it was moved to Olympic Park in Maplewood, New Jersey. It was purchased by Disney in 1967. It actually is slightly larger than the Disneyland one. It has 5 rows where the Disneyland only has 4 horses. So your capacity is a little higher on the Magic Kingdom version. All right. With that being said, Sherry.
Well, I'm not a huge crowd person, so
smaller.
It's a problem when you're a Disney fan. But I like the placement of the one in Disney World because I don't feel like it's as congested in there.
That's true.
Around there, and I know there's stroller parking at Disney World, kind of behind it, but there's just a lot more room there, especially with new Fantasyland and all that. It just feels there's more flow there, and I feel like Disneyland, it's once again bottlenecks a little bit right there.
Matt?
I think having the experiences of an attractions cast member, I always vote for the larger capacity on any ride. So I'm going to go with World as well. And Sherry, that's a good point too about the placement. It doesn't feel as congested because it's even congested at Disney World sometimes when it gets busy. All the strollers are parked there and everything like that. But yeah.
Now I'm going to have to go, Matt, the same thing with Magic Kingdom. Number one, I enjoy where it was located first with Belle Isle. That is a great piece of history there. I love that it's just an old piece of history. And the congestion part, absolutely. And I also have to go, that was the first carousel my little man had been on. So I'm going to have to go with that one. So Kelly.
I like Disneyland's better. I love how you just look through Sleeping Beauty's castle and you can just see the carousel right through the bottom. I just think that looks so magical, especially at night when it's all lit up. And I love that the Disneyland band always rides on the carousel and you can ride with them and the characters sometimes. I just find it really fun, and it's the original. So,
those are some great reasons too. So, all right.
Wait, I
anyone? Yes.
I did research. So Lillian's favorite horse was Jingles.
Okay.
Which they did rededicate to Julie Andrews. But originally when the carousel was designed, Walt was upset because not all the horses looked like they were moving.
Oh.
Some of them were just standing, and that really frustrated Walt. So they had to keep reimagining that ride so that all the animals looked like they were of some form of movement. And when they did that, they changed the facial features on the faces too to have character, which Walt also really wanted. So apparently his idea of the carousel was not what was first designed, and it frustrated him. So they had to adjust it for Walt's eyes. But the horse's name is Jingles.
All right.
So there you go.
All right. So did anybody get their mind changed of which one was better? We all sticking with our originals?
If they put the original carousel in the area of Disney World, then you've got a winner. Because I agree with Sherry with Disney World's placement is better. And because of that, the stepsisters are often on the carousel. I don't know if you guys have seen Anastasia and Drizella. They are hilarious. They get on the carousel and they yell at each other, and it's quite a hoot. But I've never seen them do that at Land. I've only seen them do that at World.
Huh. When we were on the carousel, they were actually, the stepsisters were on the top of the balcony yelling at people, which was fantastic because the crowds were so low that they would single out people
But I feel like that's a thing, like a COVID-19 thing. I don't feel like they've ever been up there before.
I think they need to continue that.
Right.
They're usually on the carousel.
Yeah.
And they'll yell at each other. Like they'll find some guy and they'll grab his arm and then they'll say, "You're my husband. I'm going to marry you." And then they're like fighting. I have it all on video. It's quite funny. So I'm glad they didn't get rid of them entirely. I'm glad that they're still somewhere.
Yes, they are. So, all right. So, wait, real quick, show of signs. Who had Disneyland? All right, so we're 3-3 then. So, and then the rest are, I'm assuming, all world. So, so yeah, we are tied on that one, 3-3. So that is a draw. All right. So moving on in Fantasyland to Peter Pan's Flight. Now, my wife and I joke that this is the best ride in the park because before either of us had ever actually ridden it, we would always joke about why is the line so long for this?
Why?
It is why? And the first time we went on it, we just kind of looked, we got off of it because let's mind you, at Magic Kingdom, it's a 2-minute and 55-second ride. The line is normally around
45 plus minutes.
I was going to say, I thought I had what the average wait was. I do not have this. It's, probably at least a minimum 45-minute ride. Now, the fact that I actually got video after the COVID-19 thing and it opened back up that it was a 5-minute wait, I just sat there with my mouth agape because I had never seen that in my life.
It was 25 minutes when I went.
It was 5. I got to walk on. So at Disneyland, it's a 2-minute and 10-second ride. So Land changed my. All right, we got to change your mind of Disneyland already. So there was a refurb for Disneyland in 2015. So that those of you who are wondering what the refurb was about, it gave some new animatronic figures in the bedroom and updated the lighting and pixie dust effect in the ride itself. Mm-hmm. So in Disney World, you've got the pixie dust in the queue, which funny, I was the first time I ever had just gone through it after the reopening, because the rest of the time I would always use a fast pass. So sad but true. So Magic Kingdom, there are a little bit different things going on. The flight over London is a much different effect. It's much more 3D because the thing is that they were opened later. They actually got to be able to do more with the actual ride, but it hasn't really been updated where Disneyland's has been. So you also have some of the original dialogue still used from the 1955 ride in the Disneyland version at Disney World. So the "help me, Mr. Smee, help me," that is actually the same recording from 1955, but they're using it at Disney World. So the Disneyland version was updated in the 2015 portion. So you do have a lot of different things going on there. But Nina, I'm guessing yours was Land, yeah, of course. Disney
World.
Yeah,
that's all right. I never learned to read, so we're good there. All right. Well, why are you abandoning your home?
The queue at World, they expanded it. It's interactive. When you're waiting that 45 minutes, it's nice to have Tinkerbell flying about and whatnot. My kids really enjoyed the queue, and I have seen the queue, but our last trip, not the most recent one, the one before that, we didn't have a fast pass, and that was the first time my kids had actually seen that queue, and they voted that automatically their favorite for the pre-show.
All right.
That's at World.
Disney time.
I'm actually gonna go with the land on this one.
Okay.
I like what they did with the updates, and they added projection mapping into the ride, and the queue has you can use Play Disney app on it and get some pretty cool effects. So even though there's no fast pass, it's still fun.
All right, Sherry.
I'm gonna have to go with World, and this was tough because I do like the projection mapping at land, but I really enjoy when you go over London. I like that, and there's like a little hidden Mickey in Big Ben there that we always try to look for, and so it's just a special ride for my family.
All right, and Matt.
Much like Nina, I'm voting on the queue, so I go with Disney World because no matter what, except for these times, you're gonna have to wait for a Peter Pan's flight unless you have a fast pass. And if you're going to wait, at least the queue, I think, is better at Disney World. You get to wait inside and some air conditioning in Florida, so it's good. So, yeah, I go with Disney World.
Now, I am going to have to go with Disney World as well. Now, my reasonings, it's honestly kind of hard, but the one that really gets me is the flight over London. And the more 3D effect there, it just feels more like London, whereas Disneyland's is just really flat. It just doesn't do it for me there. You've got a longer ride at Magic Kingdom as well. And if I'm going to wait that long, and let's be honest, guys, even if you have a fast pass, you're still waiting. Right. It's not an instant on by any means. Now, the sad part is when you do use that fast pass, you get to miss the interactive queue and seeing Tinkerbell and batting at the bells and all of that kind of stuff. But I'm still going to have to go with the Magic Kingdom with that. So Kelly, how about you?
I definitely think Disneyland has the prettier, more vibrant scenes, apart from obviously the London scene. But I'm going to go with World. Again, for the queue. I love the queue. It's just interactive and fun. And I like that the ride system is like an omni-mover, like Haunted Mansion. I feel like the queue goes quicker at Disney World because it's constantly moving. Whereas at Disneyland, they stop and load everyone. I don't know if it makes a difference, but I feel like it goes quicker. But that's why I choose World.
All right. So we're going to do the whole. All right. How many Disneylands did we have again?
Just one.
Just one. All right. So Disney World kind of takes this one pretty handedly. So moving on to another classic are the teacups. Come on. The teacups. They're both opening day. Now, there are a couple main differences. Disneyland is the placement of it. Placement, you're right around the I love Nina. You've got
I'm like a cat.
Yeah. Don't get a little red laser pen. It's horrible at that point. So we got a Disneyland hands down. So you've got a cover at Disney World, and you also have the little the dormouse in the teapot, which was added in 74 actually. Now it actually didn't have a roof until 74. They did that and added that and the teapot and the mouse in 74. Some of it was because of the rain. If you were raining, it's Florida. It rains. It rains on a daily basis almost, year round. It doesn't matter. So it's a lot harder to do that. Disneyland. You're lucky if it rains once a year. It's just perfect weather almost all the time. So you didn't need that roof there. So the ride systems are actually exactly the same. They are all 18 teacups in total, which spin on 3 small turntables that rotate clockwise and are sitting on a larger turntable that goes counterclockwise. And then, of course, if you want to be really mean, you can then spin your teacup however fast in whatever direction that you would like to. My wife then yells at me. So I am unable to spin the teacup. But did I miss everybody voting on this one already? And we have a unanimous.
I do want to say, I think that you missed one part about the world is that you're basically like in Autopia and you smell it and you're like, the magic is gone at that point.
And you can still hear and the please do not bump other cars constantly at all times while you are trying to. If you can bump your teacup, you've got talent there. But I definitely agree that it does take away some of the mystique of the teacups there. So and the counter opposite of that, you're right by the Alice in Wonderland ride in Disneyland. Right. So you've got this whole storybook thing in Disneyland, and then you're right by Autotopia. Or I'm sorry, not Autotopia.
Speedway.
Speedway. Thank you.
Sorry.
Tomorrowland Speedway. Yes. I knew where you were going with that.
I just forget.
It does feel like it's kind of stuck though, because you've got Tomorrowland here, the little teacups, and then you've got the mountain from Seven Dwarfs, and it kind of just feels kind of like I'm out of place and rid of me soon.
It's almost like they should move it.
Call it a day.
It's almost like they should move it back to like the carnival area, back with like Dumbo.
Yeah,
storybook. It does belong more Fantasyland. Than Tomorrowland sort of meets Seven Dwarf Mine Train. I don't even.
Yeah. And then you got, Pooh in there too, but we'll get to that one here next, actually. So
they do overlays though at Halloween and Christmas, which gives it something different. But
but really, are you talking for Disney World?
Disney World,
yeah. Disney World does do the overlays. For the most part, it's lights, which is funny because Disneyland has little lights all the time. So they've got the lanterns up. So we had a unanimous Disneyland. Any other things that we missed, guys, that are the reasons that we've chosen land? We'll go real quick. Nina, any additional that we missed?
I just think it's prettier and it fits better in the space. Feels more magical as opposed to the one at World. Just kind of feels just
plopped there. Yeah. Disney time.
I like that it's right next to both Mad Hatter and Alice in Wonderland, so it's like that whole Alice theme in that area.
Absolutely.
And the canal boats.
All of the above, but the last 2 times I was there, I actually saw Alice and the Mad Hatter riding the teacups. I feel like that's been cool to see, and the fact that it happened twice, like 2 different trips, was kind of cool.
Yeah, they were the last time I was there. They were just right outside of it.
Okay.
For me, so Matt.
Yeah, it's the placement right next to the Alice in Wonderland ride. Creates a much better story.
Yeah, absolutely. And Kelly.
Yeah, perfect location, and it just looks prettier without the roof.
Yeah. So, all right. So unanimous beating up on Disney World, that one. So.
Sorry, World.
All right. Moving on to, as I said, Winnie the Pooh. So they are the same ideas, but not completely the same. Now, Disneyland's is found in Critter Country, and Disney World's, well, I have a slight issue with Disney World's. because someone took over Mr. Toad, and I'm bitter.
Still at land.
It is, and by golly, I ride it every time I can. Because hey, be fair, everyone likes Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. For those of you adults who get that reference, put it in the comments below. So I am a Disneyland fan on that one, just because they took over one of my favorite rides. So, but you're found in Critter Country with Disneyland. It replaced, and I'm a little bitter on that one, but it replaced Country Bear Jamboree from Disneyland. So, which was a huge one there. In Disneyland, there is better lighting and better sets. It does not have Owl's house scene. But if you think about it, in Owl's house scene, what happens there? Winnie the Pooh gets the deed from Mr. Toad in Disney World. So they've admitted that in Disneyland. So they have a longer Huffalumps and Woozle scene in Disneyland than they do at Disney World, but Tigger's scene where he's bouncing around is actually longer in Disney World.
It is long.
Yeah, it is, but I'm a Tigger fan, so I kind of like that one. If I have to actually like something at the Disney World version. So
let me ask you a question. Between the two, are they equally as bouncy? I think World is incredibly bouncy.
I think you bounce at World. I don't think you bounce at Disneyland.
Do you?
I don't think so.
It's like a slight rocking motion, but it's not really like extreme like in Disney World.
Okay, so I was like, am I missing something? Because one, you're riding like a honeybee and you got like a little heffalump bumblebee behind you, and then the other one you bounce.
Because aren't you in a honey pot or no?
Yep, you're in a honey pot in Disney Worlds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, one of the reasons that I like Disneyland better is the ordering and the way that they've placed it together. If you really think about it, Disney Worlds is just like, I'm placing you in this scene. No setup. I'm placing you in the next scene of the movie. I'm placing you in this scene. There's no congruency between the actual storytelling. It's just, poof, you're here. Poof, you're here. Where Disneyland actually did have the ability to do that kind of theming throughout the entire thing and set a more cohesive ride together. So that's one of the reasons that I'm a Disneyland person. So, all right, let's move around our horn here. Mermaid Nina.
This is a hard one for me. It's my daughter's favorite ride. No matter what park we go into, we have to ride Winnie the Pooh 1,600,000 times ever since she was 2. But I'm going to agree with one of our commenters here. The queue highly annoys me, like a lot. And I know that it's shut down right now, but the honey wall and all the fingerprints and the boogers everywhere.
So you don't actually have to touch it. Did you know that if you just put your hand like right up next to it, it'll still do the thing? You don't have to touch the wall, which, you know, a child will definitely listen to, but.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, try telling that to all the boogery children.
By child, you mean me, right?
Nick, stop touching the wall. We told you.
It's usually licking it because look, it's honey.
Right, I think for that alone, I'm just going to have to pick Land. I also like the character meet and greet at Land better. I like that it's kind of at the end of the ride and you walk away and you're like, oh, Pooh, Tigger, Eeyore. World's kind of like stuffed in the corner a little bit. I don't know. I'm feeling Land on this one.
All right, Disney time.
I'm gonna go with World on this one.
Wow.
I like the queue.
Oh, no.
It's not too annoying for me.
Fair enough.
Like the honey too, like Nick.
Hey, there's a rumbly in my tumbly. Come on. All right, Sherry.
So I'm going to go with World for a couple of reasons. I like the queue. Number 2, I think that one of the best Easter eggs is where Mr. Toad is handing the deed to Owl, I think it is, which you have to be quick and look, but I feel like that's just such a great Easter egg. And I'm bitter about the Country Bear Jamboree, so.
All right. I get you in the bitterness part. I get it.
But there's an Easter egg there too.
Yes, but not good enough.
I don't see them handing the deed from the bears to them. Come on.
Right?
From the moose to the Huffalumps.
All right, Matt.
I mean, I definitely agree that the queue can be loud at times, but I do like the queue because I think it fits so nicely into the Fantasyland forest of New Fantasyland. I like Tigger bouncing. I like that whole scene. I like the owl reference with Mr. Toad. So yeah, I'm definitely going Disney World.
All right. Well, I'm as I said, I'm bitter because it's my favorite ride, and so yeah, you got that. Exactly. I do, I love, no, help me out here because I'm not 100% sure. Do they have the meet and greet for Tigger and Pooh at Disneyland like they do with Disney World? Because Disney World, you've got it right outside.
Right.
So Disneyland, okay. So that was almost a deciding factor for me because I got to do a shameless plug in one of my videos. I have where my little man meets Pooh and Tigger. And if you guys haven't seen it, it is absolutely adorable because my little man is dressed as Tigger, and Tigger, the real Tigger, about falls over. Actually, he does and starts like pounding on the ground, and it is absolutely adorable. So it's something that I can watch over and over again and absolutely bring a tear to my eye, no matter how many times I ride it. So you almost had me on that at Disney World. But you still took away my Mr. Toad, so I'm still cold-hearted there. So we're gonna have to go with Disneyland and also the continuity of the ride. So, Kelly,
I'm gonna go with World. I just love the outside facade. It really looks like the 100-acre wood. You've got the honey pots and you've got Pooh's house. The interactive queues, great for the kids. I love how it has all the storybook pages throughout. You just feel like you're walking through a book. I just love that. Yeah.
If I wasn't so cold-hearted and bitter, I'd absolutely agree.
Let it go.
Hey, that's another ride completely. We're not talking about that one today.
Well, we didn't talk about my Snow White Scary Adventure, which maybe I'm still a little bitter about.
A little bitter there. All right, so Disneyland, raise your hands or raise your...
I think I was the only one.
No, I was at Disneyland too, because remember, I'm bitter.
Right.
So that means Disney World wins on that one.
Bitter means hates ride queue.
4-2. So, all right. So, well, with going with different queues, let's go with Dumbo.
Oh.
So Dumbo, the ride system, exactly the same. However, you have 2 of them at Disney World, 1 of them at Disneyland. So you also, at Disney World, have I'm not going to call it a virtual queue by any means, but you have, now this is pre-COVID, you had the availability of having your little ones play in a playground, and you got a little beeper type thing that very similar to, for those of you in the States that go out to restaurants and grab a little buzzer, they will actually buzz you when it's your time to get back into line and go into the ride. So is that something that's going to win out for your idea, because you also have double the ride capacity. So again, you're moving a little bit quicker, but if you're not, you also have that ride. So let's go around the horn here. Nina.
I don't like the queue. It's closed down right now, by the way.
Yeah, it is closed down right now.
It's something I refer to as a germ zone, just like the play centers inside malls. So I never did that, so that didn't matter to me. But Disneyland has some strong, deep-rooted meaning to me, the Dumbo ride there. It's a great place to see surrounding everything, the castle, small world. I've been on that thing during fireworks shows. Something about the scenery when you're up at lands has the win for me.
All right. Disney time.
This one's tough for me because Disneyland's very nostalgic. I grew up with it, but I'm actually gonna go with Disney World on this one. I like that play area because actually my son he got to play there last time we went there, and he didn't even ride the ride. He just went in the play area and played. So
Okay. All right, Sherry, how about you?
I am going to have to go with World, and Dumbo is not my favorite ride. And so I like that there's two of them so you can get through the queue faster and get on it and move on. I also, while I agree, like in Fantasyland, it's a great, like it really fits the theming. To me, in Storybook Circus, it just feels like it's in the right place. And the colors and the whole, like, it just feels so perfect there. I like it there.
Yep. And Matt.
Yeah, I think Dumbo at Disney World goes beyond the ride and the queue. It's an entire land. And while it's technically part of Fantasyland, Storybook Circus feels like its own world, that the circus has come into town. Everything up to the little peanut shells in the pavement, just to top off the theming. So definitely Disney World.
Yep, absolutely. And then you even have right up by the bathroom, you have the misting and that kind of thing when it's warm, with the trains there.
Circus,
you know,
is that what that's called? Maybe not.
What's that?
I think it's called Casey Circus. That area right there with the,
Okay.
with the stuff. Yeah.
That I don't know. So, yeah, with the theming and the peanut shells, that's a detail a lot of people miss. Actually, the peanut shells in the ground, and that is one thing right now that if you do go, you get to see you have the availability of seeing a lot more of those little tidbits because there's fewer people standing over them. So it's for me, it's absolutely hands down Disney World because same thing with the teacups. It's just placed correctly. So, and Kelly.
Yeah, it's World for me as well. I just love the circus area. It just fits in with the movie of Dumbo so perfectly. It's just so immersive. And the queue's great for the little ones. And yeah, so that's why I choose World.
All right. So I think was it 5-1? I gotta. Yes.
I'm just interrupting to say that it's called the Casey Jr. Splash and Soak Station.
I was close. Casey Circus, Casey Jr.
You were close. Yeah, absolutely. So we had Nina on the Disneyland. Everybody else was Disney World. All right. I think that was a first smack around back on Disneyland then. So, all right. Last one, folks.
Yay.
Now considering we've got 2 continents covered right now, we could definitely say that it's a small world. I tried. That's all I had. Come on. So yes, small world. So
no contest.
We got Disneyland. Yeah, I have a feeling this is going to be not a contest at all. So it was conceived and built in 11 months, for those of you who don't know, for the 1964 New York's World's Fair. And of course, Walt, in his infinite wisdom, had somebody else pay for it. So, hey, can't blame the man there. I mean, that's fantastic. And then he got to keep it. Bravo. So Disneyland, it opened in May of 1966. And for those of you who have been there, it is this grand just thing. You can't miss it. The queue is outside. It has just huge amounts of just the clock on the outside. During the holiday season, they theme it up as well. Yeah, so this really isn't. I just feel bad because this isn't a contest here. For Disney World, again, it's inside. It kind of looks like you're in a warehouse. Now, Now, when I was there, they actually, for those of you who had been there recently before COVID, they had been having the walls up, basically. So it was all walled off because it was under construction, basically. In Disney World, yeah. And so the only entrance you got to go in was the Fast Pass, and they had 2 different lines starting there. Well, while I was there, literally during the day, I walked past it once, and the walls are up. I walked past it 20 minutes later, the walls are down. So they move quick. So that is back to how it was, but it still looks like a warehouse. But of course, the problem with an outside queue and water is at Disney World. We already talked about this. It rains a ton. So they didn't want to have a water ride outside gathering more water, untreated water. So, it's 11-minute ride at Disney World. It's a 15-minute ride at Disneyland.
It does look like it goes on forever at Land.
Yeah, it's an extra 4 minutes. So those of you who can't stand that song any longer, you may not want to go on Disneyland's. For those of you who sing it the rest of the day, I don't mind it. So also, Disney integrated 28 characters from the region to their. It's a great nap time. All right, they integrated 28 characters into the regions of the world in Disneyland. So, like you have Lilo in the Hawaii in the Polynesian area. You have Alice in the England portion. So there's 28 of those characters to be actually able to find.
I think that's the best part. I think it's so much fun to try to find them.
And the funny thing is, it was a huge thing when they did that. People,
I remember.
You're ruining the ride. You're making it all Disney. Like, wait. You're making it all Yeah, it's in Disneyland. What do you expect?
Question though, wasn't there a rumor? I don't know if it's true or not. Wasn't World going to get similar characters?
I haven't heard the rumor, but I wouldn't see why not. To be honest,
I thought it was a potential because I am friends with a cast member who builds them at World, and he was recarving some new dolls. Go to World.
I mean, to me, they fit in the Mary Blair style. I mean, they're dressed to. They don't stick out.
Right.
I mean, and as I believe it, Sherry, you said, it's fun to go around and actually challenge yourself to how many of them you can actually point out.
Yeah.
So,
I think the problem that they were having with it was that it became a game of let's look for the Disney characters instead of enjoying Small World. So I think that's what the problem was with people, but I don't know. It's fun.
Well, it's been open since '66. Something had to change, though. I mean, as Disney said, that to me, a reimagining, if you would, of this ride doesn't change it at its core. It adds something to have people that have done it since '66. It adds something new to go, hey, wait, let's do this and let's count those. But it doesn't take away from the core meaning of the ride.
Right.
Some of them are very subtle too. Like they're not like.
Oh yeah.
No.
Now there is one kind of large difference in between the two. Now Disneyland has flume waterways. So in other words, it's just about the size of the boat only. Where Disney World has the flooded waterways. Mm-hmm. So it's all the way water up to the areas that the figurines are. So that's kind of a difference. And also in Disney World, the ceilings are much larger. Your building is much larger, actually. So it actually, again, kind of aids to that warehouse feeling, where Disneyland is very tight and enclosing, and it really does kind of feel like a small world around you because they just don't have the room. So that could be kind of seen as good or bad, but the scenes in Disneyland, if you really look at them, are more elaborate because you've got more of the greenery, and it just kind of feels more inclusive because it's smaller. It had to be, although it's longer. So now the one thing I will say that I think they do a little bit better in Disney World, because I got to give it some love here because we've been beating on it pretty hard, is the very end scene. The grand finale is very grand.
Right.
It's giant because, well, they had the room to be able to do that. Whereas Disney World or Disneyland, you don't get that grand scale at the very end of it. So I do have to give one very small point to Disney World there. So
it's also interactive. The last scene at World, it can read your magic band.
It says your name.
Yeah, the disembarking area. Yep. Yeah. For those of you who always wonder how they get your name up there, that is from the long distance RF in your magic band. So let's go around the horn real quick. Nina, anything that we missed that the reason that we knew was unanimous Disneyland, but anything that we missed that you the reasons that you like it?
I like it for the things we mentioned. I love the Disney characters, but even before that, the clock. The clock, when it goes off and all the characters come out like an old grandfather clock. Really got to love that. I love the queue when you walk through it. You actually like get up and close and personal with it, as World kind of just feels like being stuck on a wall that you're walking past. But yeah, all the things you mentioned, land is very nice.
Yeah, the glockenspiel portion of Disneyland is just, if you haven't watched Disneyland's clock go off at I believe it's every quarter hour.
Yeah. It feels like
do it. Sit there and watch it. Disney World does go off, but it's just lackluster. So Disney time. Anything that we missed that?
One thing I really like doing is watching the fireworks from that area, because they do projection onto the Small World facade. So if you don't get a good spot on Main Street or in front of the castle, you can go there, and they have like pretzels and popcorn stand like really close to it. So if you want to get some food, you can. It's really a good spot.
That's true.
All right.
It is.
Yeah.
Sherry, how about you?
I just want to touch again about like the Christmas lights on the It's a Small World. Like, to me, that is so magical, and everybody crowds up there to see it light up, and it's just such like it's just one of those like moments.
Yeah, and I really hope they do it this year. With everything going on, really that's a lot of the scare of what they're going to be able to continue to do, and what they won't. So. Matt, how about you, sir? Anything we missed?
I mean, the first time I wrote Disneyland, it's just, you just go, wow, it's just so much more elaborate than, like somebody mentioned before, it's stuffed into a building, the one at Disney World. And, again, good ride over there too, but Disneyland is much more elaborate, and the characters fit in seamlessly. If you don't pay attention, you might miss some of them. So definitely Disneyland.
Yep, absolutely. So yeah, mine, obviously Disneyland as well. For everything that's mentioned, I really, seeing the outside of it is quintessential to me. Disneyland, going and seeing It's a Small World is actually more breathtaking to me than seeing their itty bitty castle. That to me is more itty bitty castle. That's more of Disneyland to me than the castle is. It's just kind of the quintessential part of Disney to me. Callie, how about you, ma'am?
I just as everyone said, I just love Small World at Disneyland. It's one of my favorite rides to do when I'm there. It's just so stunning. I just love standing there and just looking at it. And then you've got the railroad going past the front of it as well, which is really cool.
Yeah.
And Sherry said the Christmas lights are just amazing as well.
You know, we mentioned it, but Paging Mr. Morrow brought up an absolutely wonderful point. It was the one that was at the World's Fair. You know, how can you, you know, we talk about nostalgia and everything else. That's a big part of nostalgia there. And Walt obviously had a huge part in this one. So, all right, guys, it brings us to the end of our list. So, yeah, I know that not a whole lot of fighting. I think we were pretty even though on voting of Disneyland versus Disney World. Yeah, we know.
It won. It won.
Yeah, only in you. I believe that you believe it won. All right, folks.
Disney Castle.
One more time. All right, guys. For those of you who are first-time viewers, we appreciate it a great deal. Now, if you would, Nina will have everybody's page linked below when this comes back onto Disney, or yeah, we talk about Disney so much, onto YouTube. Please, if you would, like, subscribe to all of our channels. It does really help us out. We are small YouTubers and trying to grow and get our message out. If you have fun, let us know. We love doing these. Comment on what you would like to see. As Nina said, that she's got the community tab now. So we really want to know what you want to sit around and chat about. And for those of you who have been commenting, it really makes this a lot of fun, not only for us, but we hope for you too. So we're going to go around real quick. The way we generally end is what is coming next on our channels. So Nina will actually end with you. So Disney Time Podcast, what's next on your channel?
So I've been doing a bunch of unboxings. I'm probably going to do another one this coming Saturday, post every Saturday. And I post our podcast every Friday, and that's on any of the podcast platforms. So you can check that out or go to our website, DisneyTimePodcast.com.
Great. Sherry, how about you?
Next up, I have a Walt Life unboxing. And then I have continuing my travel series of our trip to Jamaica, seeing what it's like to travel internationally during a pandemic. And then I have some more Disney unboxings coming up. I just got my box of my Disneyland 65 merch. I'm like,
wow.
Yeah, so
I'm jealous.
Excited. I'm waiting for my Spirit jersey to come. It's not here yet, so that'll come up next.
All right, fantastic. Matt, how about you on Magical Adventures?
Very soon, I'll be doing a video of making Dole Whip. I used to be a cast member at Aloha Isle at Disney World, so I got the mix and everything, and I hope I still have my swirl skills.
Matt, I've got a question.
Yes.
How aren't you my size if you worked there?
I think Dole Whip just slides right down. So
I wish. I've bought the. I did make a video. I didn't end up putting it up on YouTube of the mix that you're referring to versus the recipe that they released. It didn't fit with my channel, but there was really no contest of what is the real Dole Whip. Because as Mermaid Nina knows, my answer is always Dole Whip. So unless it's what treat do you want to leave, that is never the answer then. So all right, fantastic. Well, for my channel upcoming, as you guys know, I was at Disney on opening week, and I have a little one. So I am doing a what has changed with the baby care centers, because with the COVID-19, they have changed them a little bit. So it's, to me, important that all the parents that go have an idea of what they're to expect beforehand. So go ahead. That'll release on Monday. And then I just put our travel vlogs up, tried a new thing there. And those are up for our travel day there. With a 1-year-old, it gets interesting. So Kelly, how about you, ma'am?
I have a Shop Disney haul coming to my channel tomorrow. And I also have about 3 other hauls coming because isolation online shopping. And I'll have another Disneyland vlog coming this week following on my series, and plenty of other Disneyland and Disney World vlogs coming as well.
Great. And the lady who just got back 2 days ago, what do you got coming back?
I got lots and lots of Disney World coming. I just made it today. I have a travel day video of what's it like right now on a plane, in an airport, on the Magical Express. Was it empty? Was it full? You'll have to check it out. That's going to drop on Friday. And then I'm just going to slowly go through each of our days, chop it up, and give you guys the ins and outs between the ride queues, the lines, the restaurants, what it was like ordering food, mobile order versus table service restaurant, certain ride queues, how they changed, how they protect you, all that great stuff. And of course, the kids and I just became Pop in a Box subscribers. So once a month, we will have that unboxing for you. But I want to remind you guys that outside of our individual channels, Nick and I are the hosts of this live. And next week, we will have a show we're pretty excited about because it is about Funko Pops. So make sure you guys stay tuned to that. We do run this live every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. And after the Funko Pop Live, we are doing a pretty cool thing in September. Well, we need a bunch of guest channels to come aboard. So if anyone wants to join us, please let me know in the community tab. And also, please like this video, comment. We absolutely love your comments. And please make sure you go around to all the channels and please subscribe because we all make really great content. And you just never know what you're going to like until you give us a try, right?
Absolutely. All right. So the way we normally end this is we all have our outros on our videos. So we're going to go around and Disney Time, we'll start with you. How do you normally end your...
All right. So thanks, guys, for watching, for tuning in. Don't forget to like and subscribe and keep your watches synced to Disney Time. See ya.
Sherry, how about you?
If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. I would love for you to subscribe if you have not already. I post new videos every week. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
All right, Matt.
Thanks for joining us. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And until our next magical adventure, see you real soon.
All right. And Kelly?
That's all for this video. If you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up, leave me a comment down below, and hit the subscribe button if you'd like to see more. Thanks for watching, and I hope you'll visit my kingdom again soon. Bye.
All right. And mine always is, we'll see you real soon. Nina?
All right. Thank you, everyone, for coming on tonight. I really appreciate it. And everyone else, mahalo for watching. Nina, out. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.